Joe Whalen, ABC in Birmingham. You've obviously played multiple positions in the secondary before, but going back to safety, Trayvon now over corner, how has that been shaping out so far?
We've been doing a whole lot of different things in the corner, a whole lot of different combinations. I've been playing a little corner, a little bit of star, a little bit of safety. So we're just trying to feel it out, see what we could do, see what's the best fit.
Minkah right here to the front left.
Hey, Minkah. Jacques Doucet, WAFB TV in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Can you just give your thoughts on last year's game against LSU and then what it's like when you play them year in and year out, and you're obviously hosting them this season?
LSU was definitely one of the most fun games I ever played in because every single play mattered. It was such a low-scoring game, and it was a lot of fun to play. And, going against LSU is probably our biggest rival in the country. So playing against them in a game like that at their stadium is a lot of fun.
Minkah, back over here to Joe.
Mickey, a couple weeks ago you did an interview and you said that the Florida State game is probably going to be the biggest game for you guys outside of playoffs, possibly national championship. What sets that game apart?
It's Florida State. They're probably one of the best teams, one of the best legacies, I guess you could say, in college football. And we don't get to see them a whole lot. So when we get to play each other, it's going to be a great game. And I think it's going to be a whole lot of fun to play and a game to remember.
Over here to the left, Minkah.
Justin McNally with WSFA. Minkah, you guys lost a lot of guys to the draft last year. How are you kind of stepping up now into that leadership role on defense?
Last year I kind of had a leadership role, but I wasn't the leader of the defense. But I feel like now I kind of had to be more vocal, a little bit more, just kind of lead and like you said, just step into that role.
Up here at the front, Austin.
It seems like sometimes when you guys lose a lot of talent, the other teams are hoping, oh, this is the year we can maybe beat them. But it always seems like no matter how many people you lose, you always replenish that talent and have a great team. What is it about Alabama and Coach Saban that enables you guys to do this year in and year out?
It's Alabama. We always had the #1 recruiter class or top 5 recruiting class in like the last, I think, 8 seasons or something like that. And so we always got talent, like you said, and it's a whole lot of things that draw people to Alabama. We have the demand for excellence, the coaches, the players, going against the best of the best every day. It's a great school, great program, a whole lot of history.
Minkah right here, center left.
Kind of following the same vein, how much do you think that loss in the national championship game really motivated Nick? Some of us thought, hey, he wins this one, he might go out on a high note, but now it seems like he's death locked in.
You got to learn from it. You always learn from a loss, and if you don't, then that's on you. But we're definitely using that as motivation, and we're not letting the small things slide. And that's the reason why we lost last year, because we let little things slide, and they added up towards the end of the season in the championship game, and we lost because of the small details. So I feel like this year we kind of learned from that. Leaders learn from that. We're not letting nothing slide. We're not letting the small things go away. I don't care if it's socks, not wearing the right socks or the right shoes, we're going to say something to you. So.
Again, here with Joe.
What kinds of progressions are you seeing with Jalen as a passer, particularly with the deep ball?
He's been working on it a whole lot this off season. He's been throwing with Calvin almost every weekend and all the other receivers every weekend. He even threw me one weekend when nobody was in town. And so he really told me something that he really wants it, and he wants to work in his craft and master that, not just the deep ball, but fitting in certain windows. And he's trying to learn the game. He's asking me questions, and I'm asking him questions about the offense. He's just trying to learn, and he really wants the championship.
Minkah, front left here.
Minkah Fitzpatrick, delay FFTV in Huntsville. You've had a lot of guys in the secondary that have had a lot of snaps over the last couple of seasons. Your thoughts about the progression of that unit in spring, and how excited are you to see where they're headed in fall camp?
I'm really excited. I'm really excited. We have like you said, we have a lot of experience in the secondary. We lost 2 guys last year to NFL, but I feel like we have a lot of guys that do have experience, and we have some freshmen and sophomore that can fill in for us. And like I said, I'm just really excited.
One more back center left here. Minkah.
Hey, Minkah, Jalen Buck from Fox News. I'm going to touch back on the question earlier about the position Saban got you playing now. Is there a position that you feel more comfortable at?
I'm just happy on the field.
Minkah. Front
Minkah, you
left.
talked about the quarterback play and everything, but let's talk about the receiving core. Calvin Ridley, Jerry Jeudy, some of the younger guys in there. Who's kind of impressed you in that receiving core that you've seen so far in practices?
I would say pretty much all the young guys that came in, all of them are doing a really good job. They're putting weight on. They're getting faster, getting stronger, and we're going against each other, competing every single day.
Joe again, here on the left.
What kinds of differences have you seen in the offense under Brian Dable so far, just working out against them?
They are running a little bit of a different offense. I can't give you details and everything, but it is different, and so it's definitely better. Like I said, improving.
Minkah right here in the center front.
Stu McCann, ABC 3340. Minkah, you guys have a huge game day tradition, the Walk of Champions, and seeing that. I don't think it compares, but what's it like walking into the hotel today, seeing all those cameras and all those fans down there? That has to be quite a thing.
Yes, it's definitely an honor and a blessing to know that people support us and appreciate us like that. And, you can't take it for granted. And you just got to love every single moment of it, soak it all in.
Anyone over on this side? Let's get Macy working.
Y'all extra quiet.
It is quiet.
I like it.
Okay, back to Joe.
Taking advantage.
We talked a little already about just 6 defensive starters going to the NFL. You guys kind of restock and reload every year. You were kind of the exception. You got to play kind of from day one, but there's so many guys that have to wait their turn, and yet they always seem to be ready to go when they're called on. Does Deshaun Hand kind of epitomize what Alabama football looks for in terms of that type of guy?
In the sense of
Just waiting for that opportunity and then capitalizing on what comes.
Oh yeah, I definitely think Deshaun Hand, because he's a guy who works hard, and he kind of had a couple injuries that kind of held him back throughout his career. But I feel like when he got his opportunity, he did his job and he did what he was supposed to do, and he kind of performed very well.
Here we go. Right front here, Minkah.
Hey, Minkah, they announced they've got a new rule, a 15-yard penalty for coaches coming on the field, protesting calls. A lot of coaches do it. How hard is that going to be for Coach Saban, you think, to not run on the field? And does that give Coach Cochran, I think he's kind of the get-back guy, is that more pressure for him?
I think Coach Cochran's probably going to need like a chain to pull to keep Coach Saban from off the field, because Coach Saban's always on the field. So I don't know. That's going to be hard for him.
Okay, back left,
Minkah,
Minkah.
Nolan Mandela, WTVY News 4 Dothan. Nick Saban never lost a national championship game. Have you seen a difference in him from the end of last year to even through the spring now?
You said in Coach Saban?
Yeah.
I mean, he was pretty upset. I mean, he talked to us after the game and said how happy he was for us, but he was also upset, and he kind of was mad at himself, but it really wasn't on him. It was on the leaders of the team, the loss, and he's kind of enforcing a little bit more, like what I was saying earlier about the small details and letting things slide. And he's been talking to the leadership council and just communicating with us a whole lot more.
Macy, front row, front right.
Talking about the linebacker core, it seems like every year there's been another guy that you could kind of see that was ready to step up and take on that leadership All-American type role. What have you seen in like a Mac Wilson in the spring and in the offseason that maybe he could be that guy?
In Mac Wilson specifically, he's been working hard. Everybody's working hard, and he's been doing really well in 7-on-7 play, and hopefully he can continue to do that in camp and contribute to the defense during the season.
What's it like to be a defensive back and play for Coach Saban? It's different than any other position, right?
Yes, sir. It's definitely it's tough, but it's a whole lot of fun at the same time because I'm getting better every single day. I'm getting coached by somebody who has 40+ years of experience in the game, and he's been on all different levels. So I'm learning every day. I'm getting better every day. He makes it enjoyable.
Back left.
Minkah. Chase Horn, WHT Huntsville. Keaton Anderson, the guy that moved from linebacker to DB midway through last season when you guys needed depth. How have you seen Keaton specifically kind of take over that role and adjust to the position switch?
It's definitely a tough adjustment to go from a linebacker position to more of a safety DB role because one, you have to cover more athletic guys and faster guys. But Keaton's a really good athlete, and he's been doing a really good job. And he's really intelligent, so he got the defense down pretty well, and he's been doing a great job since he moved over there.
Minkah, we got on the riser in the back right.
Hey, Minkah. Mary Lee Adams, WDHN, Dothan. Marlon Humphrey, the first player to go in the draft to the Ravens, defensive back. Have you been in contact with him, and is he someone you look up to and still speak with?
Yeah, we definitely talk a lot. We talk about once every other week or once every week, and just see how he's doing, checking up on him, checking up on me.
Any advice you got from him going into the season?
From him? No, not really. I'm not at that point yet. So.
Minkah, back left.
Minkah, a lot of time to scout Florida State. What have you seen from their wide receiver core, Auden Tate, Nyquan Murray, and just the entire team as a whole?
They have a couple big body receivers, a couple shorter, faster receivers. They're definitely a great receiving core that can make plays vertically, stretch you out, and they're good in open space, so you can't let them get in open space, and you just got to win the one-on-one matchups and get the 50-50 balls.
Back left again.
Minkah, Stephen Gunner, WSFA Montgomery. Sean Dion Hamilton's a guy that's coming off an injury at the end of last season, going into his final year. How much do you guys look to him as a leader of that defense? What do you expect out of him coming off that injury and going into his final year?
He's definitely a leader on the defense, and he's been looking really good in the 7-on-7. He's been running well. He's been doing extra work and extra rehab to get back to 110%, and he's been performing really well. And we're going to rely on him a lot during the season because he's a linebacker, so he has to make a lot of calls and stuff like that. And he did it last year really well, so I really don't see any difference.
Minkah, center right.
Hey, Minkah, Madeline Adams, WFB in Baton Rouge. LSU and Florida continue to talk about being DBU, but you guys are continuously at the top of the SEC. So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, it don't matter to me. If you're playing well, you're playing well, no matter where you came from.
Macy, in the back. Austin, over here to the left. Macy in the back.
Me?
Yes, sir.
All right. Over here, Minkah. Sorry.
Where?
Over here.
I'm looking over there.
Talk about back-to-back SEC champions. How have you been able to find so much success against your conference opponents?
This the demand for excellence, like I said earlier. Coach Saban puts on us, and all the other coaches put on us, and the leadership puts on us. Because it is hard to continue to work and not become complacent when you are winning games like that and constantly winning the conference and doing things that teams usually don't do. So it is hard, but we just got to stay focused and usually the SEC championship isn't a goal for us. It's always the national championship, and I feel like, but to get to the national championship, you have to win the SEC. So we just place that on ourselves and accomplish it.
Okay, now we go back to Macy in the back right here.
Chris Brees, CBS in Birmingham. I guess a two-part question now based on what you just said. Number one, you say demand for excellence. Mentally, that grind throughout the year, how do you deal with that knowing that you want to be perfect all the time?
Well, we want to be perfect, but we know we're not going to be perfect. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to mess up, and we're gonna lose games. But well, I don't want to say we're going to lose games, but we're gonna mess up, and you just got to learn from it when you do fall short. And the reason why we set the bar so high is because if we set a goal that seems unachievable and you don't hit it, you're going to hit something that's pretty good either way. So yeah, it's hard, but it's worth it in the end.
And then the other question was, you've been in 2 neutral site games, Wisconsin, USC.
Two what?
2 neutral site games, Wisconsin, USC. You've played against both of them. Looking at Florida State, a lot of people will say they have a talent level 1 grade above those teams. What have you seen from Florida State? You haven't played them yet, obviously, but what have you seen? Could you compare with what you've seen on the field with the other 2 teams?
Well, they're all 3 very different teams, different style teams, different talent level teams. But Florida State definitely might stand out a little bit more because they do have a lot of talent on that team and a lot of great players.
Minkah, we're going to go to the front left here next.
Minkah, he said it last year, Darius Guy, about Alabama being scared of LSU's run game. He reiterated that yesterday, saying that he stands by what he said. Just kind of what's your thoughts on that?
I really don't have too much to say about that. We're just looking forward to playing LSU.
Hey, Minkah, back to Florida State. This will be their first time opening in Atlanta, and Alabama, no stranger to Atlanta. Do you think you have an advantage coming in and playing there?
Maybe a little bit, even though it's a new stadium and everything like that. We know the surroundings. We know where not to go, where to go, and stuff like that. So,
what's the excitement level with that new stadium, being the first football game to be played there?
It's pretty cool because the stadium looks ridiculous, and just being able to be the first ones to play there, it's pretty crazy.
Okay, we have time for one more question for Minkah. Anyone? One more. Right here with Joe.
My guy, Joe.
Hey, Minkah. Pressure is kind of a relative thing.
You said pressure?
Yeah, pressure is kind of a relative thing. And when you're at Alabama and you guys operate at this level where you're constantly in the national stage, constantly in the spotlight, everyone's constantly taking their best shot at you. I wonder, at what point for you specifically did that just start to fade away? And it all started to feel just normal?
I never seen it as pressure. I just kind of seen it as opportunity. Because if you see it as pressure, it's going to break you. It's going to make you fold. But if you see it as opportunity, it's going to make you want to work harder. It's going to make you want to push and fight through the pain. And so it's just an opportunity to show people how great you are.